Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dr. Nick, and
Hi everybody!
Hi, Dr. Nick.
welcome back to the 90s Guys show. Today's topic, as you see on the thumbnail, the video, it's what killed the once two huge juggernauts of retailers, Kmart and the Hills Department Store. Before I go into that, I want to go through a brief history of both companies to sort of give you an idea of what led up to the eventual demise of both of these great companies. Kmart.
Would you believe my husband doesn't know how to program a VCR?
Well, Kmart's got this RCA VCR, and it's got the works. Stereo hi-fi, digital tracking, on-screen programming.
Do you program your VCR or does your husband?
I program my VCR. And my husband.
I always want to get one of these.
The Polaroid One Step's on sale. Just point and shoot.
What about the focus?
The camera does it.
What about the flash?
The camera does it.
Pressure is low.
Well, Kmart does that.
Was founded in 1889 and was originally known as SS Cressage. In 1916, it was officially known as the Kmart Company, but they did not actually open up a store officially until 1962. In the mid-2000s, there was around 2,171 stores in 49 states, also in Guam, Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico. Their competition was mainly Zayres, Ames, Hills, and Bradley's. Until 1990, when it was passed by Walmart, it was known as the second largest retailer behind Sears. They also owned companies such as Walden Books and Sports Authority. Now, unfortunately, in the mid-'80s, they started to really neglect their stores and were focused on the new acquisitions of Walden Books and Sports Authority. And unfortunately, it led to a lot of the stores kind of deteriorating in condition, and it was very outdated structure-wise. From 1965 until 1991, the Blue Light Special, which was basically in the store, you would never know when it would happen, but an employee would turn it on and a blue light would go on and it would say, "Attention Kmart shoppers, there's a blue light special," and you'd have to go to the area in the store and that particular item was on sale. And it became sort of a pop culture icon phrase, "Attention Kmart shoppers." Super Kmart, it opened in 1997, April 23rd in Chicago, and closed in 2012. Now, the whole idea was they were trying to make it a half regular retail store along with a full grocery side. Unfortunately, the idea really didn't stick too well due to dismal sales around 2010, 2011. The idea was scrapped, and the other stores, along with this one, was actually returned to the, now they called it the Big Kmart store, and they went back to the original outlay of the 80s and 90s Kmart stores. Little Caesars was introduced as a eatery in the majority of the Kmart locations. We had one here in Danville, Illinois up until about a year ago, I believe it was. Our store closed. I believe there's no locations near us anymore as of right now that I'm aware of. In 1998, as of 98, they had about 1,245 stores that were converted to the Big Kmart, I guess you call it outline. There was a 10% sale increase, which was very good for them. At the end of 99, there was a 6.5 sale increase, and it led to them transferring all their other stores to this big Kmart format. In 2000, Martha Stewart brokered a deal with Kmart to sell her bedding, decorating, and also the Martha Stewart Living cookware. And that definitely brought a lot of sales to Kmart and increased their sales even more. In 2002, they declared bankruptcy. They declared Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It didn't really say as to why this happened. I mean, there's a number of reasons as to why. A lot of people were starting to really look elsewhere. Walmart, a lot of online retailers were really taking off about this time. And in all honesty, even at our location, the stores were outdated. The merchandise was not as cheap as it once was. I mean, there was a lot of reasons. Kmart did not revolve with the times. As with any store, it did not move with the generation of retail that was taking over. The online sales, the lower prices, the wholesale, things like that. It was just not being done. In 2003, they merged with bankruptcy protection. And in 2004, they merged with Sears for an $11 million deal. This was definitely not a good acquisition of the company. Sears was also going through its financial troubles at the time. So I guess it was sort of two sinking ships joining together, I guess you could say. In 2009, Martha Stewart took her items out of the store. She basically said in an interview that her brand was deteriorating and was not at the level that she wanted it to be, which probably led to Kmart severing their contract. Now, on to Hill's Department Store.
Got a gift list? Hills is the place for
This and this and this and this and this and more.
For all of this, come to Hills. At the low prices, Hills is famous for
This and this and this and this and this and this and more.
lots more.
Hill's Department Store was founded in 1957 in Youngstown, Ohio. In 1987, the company went public and became the 8th largest retailer. Now, unfortunately, in 1985, the company had brought on a lot of debt when it merged with the Great American Shoe Company. Apparently, the debt that they acquired was around $640 million. So right about then, before they even went public, they were already having financial issues. In 1991, they filed Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Now, this was not exactly the best thing to happen due to the 1990 and 1991 retail recession. A lot of people were not spending as much money as they once were. And it also did not help that in '89 they acquired Gold Circle stores, around 30 locations, and those were not well-rounded financial institutions either. So they were not off to a really good start. In 1993, they actually made a huge recovery out of their bankruptcy problems. The sales increased. The stores were able to hire more employees, acquire more product, and of course, their huge toy selection actually was about 10% of their sales the entire year. So it was a huge money maker. Their clothing, jewelry, electronics were all at affordable quality prices. They had major brands such as Zenith, RCA, Magnavox, Nintendo, Coleco, Intellivision, Atari. I mean, they had all the major name brands, but they were lower prices than most places. One of their slogans was actually Hill's Department Store, the anti-inflation store. And what that meant was they did not tack on any extra added cost of getting the product from the manufacturer. They did not pass that on to you in the actual final price. Unfortunately, in 1998, Ames acquired the company. Ames was actually one of their biggest competitors at the time, along with Zayre's and Bradley's. Ames took over almost every location that I'm aware of, and Ames was actually going in the financial toilet as well. So it wasn't long before, in 2002, Ames closed up all of their locations. At the time, there was 155 stores, over 12 states, and an excess of over 20,000 employees. Now, if you remember going to Hills, I know I do, the smell of the popcorn and pretzels at the concession, the snack stands, going in there and finding Ghostbusters toys, wrestling stuff. Both of these stores, Kmart and Hills, are huge nostalgic things for me because I grew up having both of these stores. I would love to go to both of these stores over Walmart. Walmart sucks. I believe that Ames and Hills, if they were still running, would do very well in the current market of stores, even if they had the online option of purchasing from their website. But anyways, I just wanted to do this video and give you sort of a brief update. The last video I did about Hills Department Store has done fantastic. And I wanted to give you a brief history of both stores, the reason why both of these companies failed, and there's a list of other companies that have failed in the process. Gander Mountain, H.H. Gregg has actually come back out of bankruptcy. Radio Shack, I believe they're also closing a lot of the buffet chains, such as like Ryan's, Golden Corral, things like that. The marketplace has changed in America dramatically. Target stores had to close a lot of their locations in Canada. So anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate all the previous views on all the other videos. Like this video, hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll see you all later.